Yo guys, Sinking here. Today I'm doing another insert of the podcast. So the first podcast was about money saving, Bitcoin, etc. And today we're going to be talking about gaming with...
Me, Isaac.
I'm Ethan.
So these two are my special guests. Like, they're amazing friends of mine. We go to the radio. If you've seen in my vlogs, I believe they might have been in one of them. I'm pretty sure
I'm
Ethan
not sure
might
I
have been.
was.
I think Ethan might have been.
I think my hand was in one of them.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
been featured.
Yeah, there you go. Featured right there. But yeah, guys, this podcast is going to be about what we feel about games, what we think about them. So what I'm going to start off with is, what game consoles do you guys have?
Right, I've got PS4. I've got my Xbox 360. I never got the Xbox One. I have my Nintendo Wii. I have PSP, and I have a PS2, which is my favourite one.
So I'll go through all the ones that I've had because I'm strictly PlayStation. So I've had a PS2, which was the best. I've had a PS3, and currently using a PS4.
So you guys have both said that your favourite was the PS2. Now, on PS2 you had loads of different games and they were all great fun games. I remember me having a PS2 and my favourite game was Tekken back in the day. Do you guys have a favourite game on PS2? And if that is, what is the game?
I do. Mine was always... I have quite a few to list. Should we go back and forth? Do you have a couple?
I can't really
You go first,
remember. Then. So I think... Alright, I don't know what the... I won't use the name because I cannot remember because I was very young. I'm still young, but I was very young. So it was similar to Call of Duty, but this is way before Call of Duty was a thing. So it's just a shooter basically.
Similar to Call of Duty. Was it Black by any chance?
It actually was.
Yeah.
It actually was.
Wow.
So the game Black. That was a lucky guess. I just refreshed my memory.
Because I know that Black. I didn't play it as a kid, but I know that Black was given not such high praise at the time that it was released, but a while afterwards people are realizing how much of a realistic shooter it was and just how good it was, better than Call of Duty in many respects. It was I didn't play it, but I've seen gameplay of it and pretty good.
I mean, you guys say that obviously Ethan, you played Black, which was a first person shooter, I believe. And do you guys remember playing anything like Tom Clancy and all those kind of games which are very good on the PS2? I mean, they brought out amazing things.
So my dad has always been a gamer ever since he was little, so back on the Cube and stuff like that. So I probably did play them type of games because he'd buy the big games that would come out and then he'd give them to me, so then I'd play them. So I probably did, but not from memory. I'd specifically remember one of them games.
No, I wasn't much of a Tom Clancy person. I'll go back to the favourite PS2 one, actually, because I played a shooter, not like Tom Clancy. My favourite was Time Splitters. There were 3 of the Time Splitters games, and I think my favourite one was probably... The story of the third one, but the gameplay of the second one, it was so much fun, so ridiculous. Half the main characters were monkeys. It was brilliant. I mean literal monkey. There was a character in the game called Monkey, and you had different variations on that monkey. You had a ninja monkey and a cyborg monkey. It was good. It sounds bad. It was great. And the amount of detail as well that the creators of this game put into their story as well, which not many people were going to end up playing because it's a shooter. It was mainly multiplayer. That was the biggest appeal. But they would put so much detail into the physics of objects that you probably weren't even going to touch, or secret little game modes that you were never going to discover unless you did a certain route on a certain difficulty and you got everything right at a certain time. It's ridiculous. I really value the amount of effort that was put into that game.
So gaming has come along so far, am I right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got games that are such good quality nowadays that it's unbelievable. It looks like you're watching a film.
Yeah.
Such as Mortal Kombat X. I mean, the quality of that game is absolutely brilliant. Now, if we flash back all the way back to when Mortal Kombat was in its very early stages,
very cubey.
Very cubey, very Minecraft looking.
Exactly.
If we want to compare it to that, yeah.
I mean, it was very
Mortal Kombat
cubey.
came first. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mortal Kombat, I mean, it has developed so much. And do you guys remember playing old games like that? And if so, which games did you play that have now developed to be such good quality games?
So this is a completely different console. This is on the remember the DSs?
Yes,
I had a
remember-
DS
yes.
too,
One
but
of-
my sister broke mine.
One of the first, not the first, but one of the first DSs. I remember playing. It was like, I think it was the first ever Mario Kart,
Right.
and it was. I went back and played it the other day, and it's so. The graphics are so cubey and pointy, like everything's pointed, nothing's like smoothed out, and it's still one of the funnest games I've ever played. Like it's like the famous Rainbow Road and everything, like
God, yeah.
like the map you hated, like I can't play this Rainbow Road. Oh yeah, so that was like the game that I remember like the most.
Yeah, I don't know if I played many games that evolved. I think I just had the good luck of. Actually, no, I'm wrong. The Sims. Because I always used to. I actually started on The Sims 2 on the PS2 and not The Sims 1, but I did go back and play The Sims 1 shortly after The Sims 2.
I didn't like the Sims 1 because it's not like the other games.
After you play Sims 2, you start to, you go back to Sims 1 and you're a bit like, well, this isn't as good. But for a lot of people, because Sims 1 came out first, it was pretty revolutionary. It was the first game to sort of be a simulation, hence it being called The Sims.
Yeah.
And safe to say, not only the looks, but the gameplay in that game has come so far. A lot of people think that there was sort of a downgrade in between Sims 3 and Sims 4. But I think there was just a shift in focus of what the game was actually about. I like both. I love both.
Because I remember, like, as I said, my dad's a massive gamer, so he'd always buy me and my sister them type of games, and my sister would have that laptop. And I remember Sims 2 was the best. And I remember
Sims 2 was the best.
When Sims 3 came out, I remember you could do this thing where you take a photo of your face and it makes the character look like you, and my dad did that and it looked like my dad. And I was like, I have to play this game, and I didn't get it for like a couple of years after it, and then Sims 4 came out. And to be fair, I played Sims 4 and it doesn't... It's good. It's a Sims game, so obviously it's good, but it doesn't have the same amount of like, yes, it's The Sims, it's fun.
Yeah. One of my favourite elements of The Sims has always been character creation. So for me, The Sims 4 was like, oh my god, this is geared to me. I love this.
Yeah.
But then for some people, perhaps I have
'Cause
friends
mine
who
was
they
like-
used to do whole architecture plans on
Yeah,
The Sims.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what I used to do. Like, I used to love like building houses. I remember one of the favourite things I did with my sister was we'd like go to the park across the street from our house, because we like specifically chose that house because it was across the street from the park, and we'd go to the pond and we'd like make friends, and we'd go. It was just so much fun, like finding different types of frogs. And it sounds really dumb and boring, but when you're in the moment and you're a little kid, you're like, I love this so much. This is fun, like, you know.
It's all of the things that like you expect life to be like when you get
Exactly.
older. So it's still fun to play now. Can I
Exactly.
admit something though? The very first time I did get The Sims 2, because it was on PS2, I walked over to somewhere and I saw another Sim get frightened by a ghost, and I got so terrified that I took out the game, put it in its case, threw it away, and didn't play it for like 2 months. Obviously, I went back into it and got obsessed, but like on
Yeah.
that day, I was like, oh no, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, guys, I hear that you guys play Sims and you enjoy it. I've got a confession to make.
No.
don't like it?
I've never played it.
Oh, you never played it?
That's
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were gonna say you didn't like it. I was like, no.
It is the type of thing that's hard to get into if you didn't have that childhood experience. But that being said, I think you could still find a lot of value in it. It just depends on like what you enjoy in a game.
Now, the game that I've seen the most development in was, for me, FIFA. Now, when I
That's
played
fair, that's
when
fair.
I played FIFA, you used to be able to play PS1 games on the PS2, which is what I loved
Could you?
about
I never knew that.
which is what I really loved about the PS2. Now, one of my mum's good friend's son had a PS1, had a stack of PS1 games, and he didn't even have a PS1 anymore. So he gave me the games, and he had FIFA 97, and I was just like, wow, that's retro. And now seeing the FIFA
Yeah.
18, it's unbelievable, because on FIFA 97, you could slide tackle the goalkeeper. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of the
I had
funniest
FIFA
things.
04. I used to play FIFA 04 all the time. That was my one. But I'm not even that big a football fan anymore. So.
No.
But speaking of sports games that have come a long way, it just made me have the biggest thought: WWE.
WWE.
And when they were
oh
WWF,
my.
remember the one I always used to play, the one that got me into it, I think, was SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. That was the one. And Here Comes the Pain too. And even SmackDown vs. Raw. Those ones were so gross.
Yeah.
They were gross. I mean, they were great, and they were so entertaining to play. And obviously, as new wrestlers would come in, the game would change a lot and sort of, work around who was popular at that time. So you tend to see, like, they're all very much products of their time.
I mean, it's not just WWE though. I mean, in the last 2 or 3 years, NWA,
Yeah.
NBA, sorry, NBA has had a massive hype about the game. Like, I believe it's hit so many millions of people now buying the game.
But isn't that because they tried to do this whole story mode thing and basically turn it into like a butterfly effect type thing?
I believe
like
so.
they were doing like what was with the craze with games like Life is Strange.
Yeah.
So that's
wow.
what they tried to do.
So, speaking of Life is Strange,
Yes.
you've just dropped that on us. Have you guys played it?
I've not played it, but I've watched a playthrough, and I can say if I had the opportunity to buy the game, then 100%, because I love like story games like that where you make decisions, and the aspect of turning back time is so like creative. And I don't know if we're putting spoilers out here.
No, we're not.
We're not putting spoilers, but just the aspect of like how you first find out that you can do it is just amazing.
Well, that's in the first episode, so I feel like that's okay to say. She watched it. It's literally in the first 10 minutes of the game. She watches a girl die in the bathroom, get shot, and she like holds out her hand and then realizes she can reverse time. And it seems like such a light, cute, innocent, hipster indie game, but. I mean, by about episode 3, you start to realise that that's just not what this is at all. And by episode 5, it's just mental.
Yeah.
I mean, Life is Strange is a very cool game, but would you say that The Walking Dead is better? Because personally, for me, The Walking Dead season 1 that came out absolutely took me away, because it was a Telltale game that was choice driven and everything, and
it was
the characters, characters literally they were so good in the game that you felt like you had an emotional attachment to them.
Exactly.
Or I did personally.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you get emotionally attached to, because I couldn't develop an emotional attachment to many of those characters. I didn't finish that game.
Yeah.
But Life is Strange, God knows I have the biggest emotional attachment to all of those characters.
Because the thing about Life is Strange for me, I think it's an amazing game, but the characters aren't likable to me. Like, I just I don't... Like, the main character specifically, she really annoys me, and she's a bit annoying. And Chloe, I think, should probably be my main character, but I still don't really like her. But with The Walking Dead, as I'm already into The Walking Dead, I just loved it. Like, Lee, I cried so much, and Clementine, who is still alive, and I can't wait for season 5 or 4.
4.
So yeah, I think it's season 4. I just can't wait, because she's like grown up in the series, and I'm just so attached.
She has become a gangster of the whole game.
And I really, really hope that when season 4 ends, because it's the last season for that story in The Walking Dead, I really hope they don't kill her off and they like put her into the comics or the TV show or something, because I feel like she's an amazing character.
TV show wasn't linked though, so it wouldn't happen.
No, obviously it's not linked, but she's still come in, but like that. Maybe
I mean, in a way, I do have to say it was linked in a few ways. Now, if you guys...
But it was the game linking it from the show and the comics, not the other way around.
Yeah, because they've confirmed that the game is connected to the comics, because you, like, in the in season 1, it's like, there's Glenn, and, like, you know, you meet people,
and he goes to Atlanta, and that is where, spoilers alert, Rick meets... Glenn in Atlanta. So that's where there is some links. You got other ones which I can't remember off the top of my head, but stuff like that. It's the game I really enjoy playing. I could probably sit there for days upon days just replaying every single game.
So I guess like what it really is, especially with these choice driven, like every choice you make has consequences thing, I think it just depends on what kind of characters you get attached to, because like you say, you didn't like Chloe or Max. I adore them with all of my heart.
Yeah.
So I think it really, really is like a completely personal thing, and there's no right or wrong opinion in that respect.
Yeah,
it really is.
Exactly. It's just literally about opinion. But I do have a critique for The Walking Dead, that I think they did better in season 3 with the endings. There isn't enough endings. I feel like because they're ending on season 4, I think there needs to be a massive bang, so it's multiple endings. I don't know how many is plausible.
A bit like The Walking Dead season 2.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to say what happened, because obviously maybe you haven't played it.
That I feel like there was literally 3 endings.
Yeah.
It was just like, well, nothing really mattered up to this point. But I feel like if in season 4, and especially in season 3, they kind of did it, but not to the extent
they tried it, but it should be a lot.
Like with Life
more.
is Strange, there is.
Yeah.
I think there is loads of endings that you can get.
No.
Really not.
Not true. There's 2.
There's 2 endings.
There's 2 endings.
Well,
from what I saw, it's like there's multiple.
Well, here's the deal with Life is Strange, is that like it's not all about, well, actually it is all about the ending, but the choices that you do make in the game do have such a big impact within your game. It's not that they're endings, it's just how your story pans out. You can have your characters choose to be certain people. Like, if you're the main character, you can choose to be one way, you can choose to be another way, and that will affect how everybody else in the game behaves up until the end, where, yeah, there is something that happens that in the end, it's, I don't want to spoil anything, I won't continue, but my point is, yeah, it is all about the ending in a sense, but it's also about the experience of getting through that story.
Yeah.
And
So
what you take away from it.
So we've spoken about choice, decision-making games, and now let's get onto the games that are very strategic.
Yeah.
So things
I have
like
a couple games.
The Escapist.
Mhm.
That's one of my favourite strategic games because it's not where you just think about it and you just sit down and you do the thing. You've actually got to plan it out with a few days used up to make your escape. Now, there are loads of other games, I believe, like Five Nights at Freddy's is like a survival kind of strategic game, and horror. There's other games.
But fairly one note, though. I will say, Five Nights at Freddy's is fairly one note, because
Yeah.
the point of it is to jump scare you, but
Yeah,
then
exactly.
the jump scare is the same every time. So.
But a thing that you might not expect to be strategic is Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
Oh, it's very, very much. If you see like league teams, like teams playing in
it's
competitions,
so strategic. Like, because I know Isaac doesn't really play competitive, but I do play a lot of
I
competitive.
have before. It's just
It's stressful
too
because
stressful for me.
because you've got to have the right team comps. Because in Overwatch, it's not class based, but there's different heroes which do all different things. So you've got to have at least 2 healers, at least 2 tanks, and 2 DPS. So that's a strategy in one. There's different types of metas that they call it. So there's triple tank, there's dive, there's barriers, there's like stuff like that. So, and then you've got to know when to push, you've got to know when to fall back.
That's the thing, is the communication. If you ever watch a team to play in a tournament, like if you take a team like South Korea, for example, if you want to use them, because they are mental in all of their esports, you can watch them take down a team in a matter of seconds because of how crazy their communication is. It's like they're all so coordinated. That is like the highest tier of strategy.
So obviously I don't think people who are listening to this speak South Korean, but if you go to a team, maybe like a good example would be the Florida Mayhem game that went on a couple of days ago in the Overwatch League that's going on currently. You can find somewhere that, like, the team like comms, and they have to talk so fast. They have to okay, Winston's dead. It can't be like, okay, so I'm gonna go kill. It has to be very fast paced, and that's how they get it done, because it's very fast paced and they need to do it now.
Yeah, it's like Winston pushed. They're like, or telling the other person to do it, and they just have to do it. They'll have like a leader, and they'll just have to listen.
They have to do it.
So pretty much it's like, yeah, we're gonna get this done. That's it. Follow what the person says.
I suggest if you're into Call of Duty maybe, and you kind of want to go to something more that's team based, not team deathmatch, then definitely go to Overwatch, because it might not be similar to Call of Duty, but it is a very kind of, if you're trying to go from Call of Duty to another game genre, then definitely go to Overwatch.
Yeah, because if I want to relax, I do tend to just throw up Call of Duty or Halo. Because those are very, very... You can be in a team, but like you can just play for yourself and not think about it. I loved Halo. I got so good at Halo up until the point where my Xbox died. But no, for real, like, Halo was my life.
Because with Overwatch, you have to... There's different things. So if you're awake and it's like, whatever, like 12 o'clock at night, you're like, yes, I just want to play a game. Play comp. But if you're in the morning, you want to chill out, play the arcade where there's different game modes and stuff. Too. And if you just want to play the game not seriously, just play quick play. That's it.
Yeah, but some people can get salty, so there's that to worry about.
So you don't it's not a game where you have to be super serious, because I got really scared when I first started playing the game, like if I play comp, everyone's going to hate me. But then you realise when you actually play it, it's not quite like that.
So now, what has just recently been kicking the gaming industry has been Battle Royale games. Now, for example, you've got PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battleground, Fortnite, you've got Daisy, you've got H1Z1, you've got loads of different games.
They're kind of storming the gaming
market.
Industry
They're taking over. And I don't know if you guys have played any of those games, Fortnite, PUBG and all that.
I haven't.
So that's exactly, I think this is perfect, because we can explain not only to the audience, but to Isaac, so he's kind of like the middle ground.
So pretty much, do you know what the Battle Royale kind of theme is?
Not really. I know Last Man Standing, that's all I'm aware.
There you go. So pretty much in these kind of games, you've got, you literally parachute out of a flying vehicle.
Yeah, and it's a huge map, all open.
And, it's all open. And what happens is, I mean, I've had people compare it to like the Hunger
I
Games,
was
like
gonna
how
say,
you
is
have
it
to
just like
survive.
one in the
It's
chamber?
like-
Is it just one in the chamber?
No,
No.
nothing. Basically, so the only difference from the Hunger Games, all the weapons aren't in the middle. They're spread out through the map. You'd go into different buildings, you find different weapons, you gather materials and stuff. Especially in Fortnite, which kind of like just stomped everything at the moment.
Fortnite has hit the market really hard because it is a
Free.
free game that you can download. At this moment in time, you can download it for free, and then you
And
can.
it will be free for the rest of however long, because Fortnite is a game that has saved the world where you pay for it. Battle Royale will always be free.
Yeah. So you can also get paid add-ons to it, but
yeah, they
I
don't,
don't-
It's not play to win to the point where you buy a weapon. You just buy
Yeah.
skins that are cosmetic.
yes. So Fortnite, what you do, the aim of the game is to pretty much scavenge for weapons and bandages and materials
Yeah.
that you need. You build stuff to maneuver around, make
so
it easier for
That
yourself.
is the thing that separates Fortnite from a lot of different battle royale games, is that you like destroy trees or buildings or whatever to get different types of materials, and then the strategy that's kind of like just been adopted is build a base at the end of the game where, oh yeah, we didn't mention that there's a circle that slowly
yeah.
goes in, so they call it the storm, where you have to be inside that circle or else you slowly die.
It's like
So
toxic gas.
it's basically pushing everyone closer together.
Yeah.
So at one point you'll all be together in the same area where you just have to fight.
So it's literally like toxic gas that if you're in it will slowly decrease your
Yeah.
health until you die. Now PUBG, it's a great game. It's a PC spec game, I believe. It's not
Mhm.
on any other console.
What, PUBG?
Yeah.
I think it's just gone to Xbox and should be coming to PS4 soon.
Okay,
And I
so
think the reason they're doing that is because of Fortnite has
yeah.
tremendously just stomped them, to be honest.
So Fortnite looks like a very cartoony version of a game. It looks amazing in general. However, some drawbacks that I believe are a little bit of a drawback is like you can't really drive a car.
No, I think that will definitely be something
That-
they will add, because that's another thing about Fortnite. Every single week they have a new thing that comes out, and I think at some point they'll probably run out of ideas, but they're adding new weapons, they're adding new skins and stuff like that. So definitely
And-
every week something's new.
The other thing that kind of is another drawback is probably the fact that there is only one map. So it does kind of get a little bit repetitive
Repetitive.
on Fortnite.
And they did, to be fair, add new buildings and new towns in the map, but that will soon get very boring. So I think they probably, this hasn't been confirmed, but in my opinion, they're probably working on a new map, because the map is huge, so it will take a while.
So the difference between Fortnite and PUBG, there are huge differences, and the main difference is PUBG, it's very graphical. So it
that
looks like
graphical.
I've made it up. It looks like you're actually the person there because it's
The graphics
the
aren't amazing, but
quality-
it's trying to look realistic.
yeah, the
basically.
quality is like it's like a real human instead of like Fortnite being like a cartoony-ish character who is ready to take over the island.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
exactly.
it is. Now there is an app version
Of what?
of a battle royale, and when I seen this, I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." It's not great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's like PUBG or anything,
Yeah.
but for free,
Exactly.
it's really good. I mean, you can have
Especially
fun.
on a
You can
mobile.
you can like go around literally playing it like it's PUBG because the quality is similar, the way that you play it's similar, and they've released new maps just like PUBG. I think released a beta map. So the app that we're talking about is Rules of Survival. Have you guys heard of that?
I have not.
You haven't heard of it. So it's literally the same as PUBG. You jump out of a plane, you go to these houses, you scavenge stuff, you go around killing people, become the last man standing, you can drive cars, etc. So that's pretty much a game, and those are like the battle royales, and they've been taken over. Now H1Z1 and DayZ have been in the market for such
So
a long time.
Like
And
DayZ was one of the, like, back when I was like probably like 6. That game has been around for ages.
and I believe it's been on a steady increase
Yeah.
in terms of
I think what they
people
need to do
purchasing
to
it.
like bring up the market is bring it to different consoles other than PC. And I know that's hard because like it's like such a, it's like very, like the map's huge. They have so many different weapons, but it's been proved to be able to be done because it's Fortnite, and Fortnite runs smoothly, so it's not like a
Yeah.
laggy game. So it can be done with enough effort because Fortnite was announced in like 2011, probably earlier. So they've been working on it for a long time.
Let's also not forget that PUBG is moving on to new platforms as well.
Hmm.
Now, one problem that I do have with H1Z1 and
DayZ.
DayZ is that their maps are very similar. I believe they've either only got one map or they've got one or two which are
Yeah.
very, very similar.
I'm pretty sure DayZ only has one.
Yeah.
But DayZ, the thing I like about DayZ, it's not just people, it's like,
Zombies as
zombies.
well.
and like, I feel like it's not as much as a battle royale game, other than just surviving. But there is other people, and the objective is like to kill people. Because I think what we've got wrong is it might not be a battle royale game like specifically, but that's essentially what it is.
So, those are pretty much the games that we've been talking about today, guys. What game of all time has been your favourite?
It might be Life is Strange. Not gonna lie. Might be.
Probably for me, it'd probably be Overwatch because I'm really enjoying that at the moment.
Or if it's one that I play the most often, then by far Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero.
I play expert, and I'm working on full comboing, 100%ing as many songs as I can. Going pretty good.
So, I think my favourite game has got to be all-time Tekken. And speaking of Tekken, if you guys have been keeping an eye out on the App Store, I think it is also on the Google Play Store or Android Store, they've released a game app. Now, have you guys played it?
I haven't, but I've seen you've been playing it and you're very keen.
Yes, I am a very big fan of Tekken, and I don't know about the app because it's very fun. It's very like, get your hands on it, like play around.
Yeah.
It's fun. But
is it a fighting
is
game?
yes,
Okay.
it's very, very similar to another game that released, I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago, which was Marvel Contest of Champions.
Mhm.
Now, have you guys played that one?
I haven't, but I played the basically DC equivalent, which is DC
Justice League?
Injustice. Sorry, Injustice.
I'm
Oh,
a loser,
Injustice.
so I have an addiction to Marvel Puzzle Quest. That's my thing.
You
Ah.
do. You really do have an addiction to that.
Because it was a few years ago, like back in my Gary's Mod days when I used to play that every day for 5 hours a time. I would also open up Marvel Puzzle Quest on the PC, and I spent so much time on that. And then I got it for my phone again recently, a couple of years later, and I'm back on it. So
Yeah.
So you were saying Gary's Mod.
yeah.
That's brought back a lot of memories. I remember playing a couple of good old games on there. Especially my favourite was...
Trouble in Terrace Town.
No.
No, okay.
My favourite was Prop
Let me
Hunt.
guess. Yeah,
Prop
Prop Hunt. I was gonna
Prop
say that.
Hunt.
I never liked Prop Hunt.
Prop
See,
Hunt was amazing.
I haven't ever had a PC or a game PC, and my laptop literally won't be able to stand it. I think it could, but at the moment I've had it for ages, so it's really slow.
I haven't tried
But,
Gary's Mod on my Mac yet. I don't know if it works.
But it should work.
It should work because it's
I downloaded it, I just haven't opened it up yet.
But
it's quite low spec. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I had a laptop before and it wouldn't load on it, so maybe it'll work on this.
But like, I'm not. I know what it is because I watch people like Vanos play it, and it's so fun and it's so entertaining to just watch. Even if you don't have it, I suggest if you don't watch Vanos, but it's quite popular. So type in Vanos, watch all his Gmod games. Like he does like Prop Hunts, hide and seek.
Alternatively, the game is so cheap.
it is
really
very,
cheap.
very
Just
cheap.
go and get it. I swear it's like £5 or something. It's on
Yeah.
Steam. Go and get it for yourself. It's got so many game modes in it. You also have like
And
cinema and RP. What was it? RP something?
I can't remember.
The roleplay one.
RPG.
No,
Do you mean
no,
RPG?
No,
it
it's a
wasn't
role
RPG.
play game.
Dark RP. Dark RP. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
and you've got Death Run. You've got so
Death,
many
I
things.
loved Death
Death
Run.
Run was
B-Hop,
Death Run's
amazing.
like-
B-Hop, B-Hop.
Yeah.
What I really liked about Gary's Mod in general was that you could download custom maps.
Yeah.
Now with custom maps, I watched the Sidemen. Obviously, you most probably have heard
Yeah.
of them.
Especially
Since-
due to the KSI versus Joella.
Well, I
Yeah.
haven't, and I'm quite glad that I have not.
Well, they've in the recent times exploded, and they used to play Gary's Mod, and especially Death Run, Trouble in Terrace Town,
Yeah.
all of those good old popular Prop Hunt, all of that. And I remember watching them play Death Run, and they have all these amazing maps, and I was just like, when I get a gaming PC or when I get my laptop, I just want to play them because
Yeah.
they were so cool. And guys, now in today's day and age, you can literally download it on your laptop through
Yeah.
Steam and it will be running fine because nowadays laptops are so high spec that
Yeah.
it's actually brilliant.
Exactly.
So
Oh, I just remembered a game. I know one of you played it. I can't remember which one, or maybe both of you. Little Big Planet.
yes,
Oh,
I never
my.
got into it because I didn't have the PS3 in time. I've got the PSP version
Let
though.
me tell you, I think I want to retract my favourite game, Little Big Planet. People know I was obsessed with this game from the age of 6 to like probably 10. So not too long ago, but whoops. But maybe 4 years ago. But this game, I started Little Big Planet 1, and there's been 3 games, hopefully a 4, because I will definitely buy that. But Little Big Planet 1, essentially what Little Big Planet is a community game, so it's online. There's different, so there's story mode, which you play offline, where it's pre-made levels that you play. It's like a platformer, but then the aspect that got a lot of people interested is you can make your own levels. So you can make different platformers, and there's different types. There's horror games, there's movies that you can make, there's platformers, and it's just amazing. I was so obsessed with it. You can make your own costumes. It was literally the best game. I loved it so much. And then I got Little Big Planet 2, which introduced the whole idea of logic, where it's like like when you're making a map, like you say you want something to move, or say you want something to act in a certain way, then you apply logic to it, which is like spec, and it's just pretty cool. And then Little Big Planet 3 came out, which was a huge disappointment, and I hated that game.
What, Little Big Planet 3?
Yep, it was.
I heard it was good.
So bad. Everyone hated it.
It was
There was
okay.
so much. There were so many glitches. They tried to add because normally there's only 3 layers, so you can only move back 3. But then they added like 12, and it was just did not work. And it was a Little Big Planet game, so I still played it, but like it just wasn't that good, to be honest.
now Ethan, you brought out the PS3 games, and I'm sorry, but I'm
Yes.
gonna have to jump in
PS3.
and tell you that Black Ops 2
Oh yes.
was.
I had it on Xbox 360. I prefer Black Ops 1. Sorry.
No,
Sorry, man.
Black Ops 1 was way better than Black
I
Ops 2.
loved
but,
Black Ops
but
1.
Black Ops 2 was the last good game.
Plus
I
zombies.
really-
Plus zombies on Black Ops 1. Yes.
I
Yes.
Kino
only-
Dera and Toten? Yes.
Yeah,
Kino
Kino
de
de
Toten,
Toten.
yes.
Or was it Toten or Untoten? Was
Un-
Untoten?
No,
Untoten
Untoten
No, it was
was the
Cinema of the
remaster.
Undead. It was Cinema of the Undead.
Yeah.
Untoten.
No, it was
No,
Cinema
Kino
of the
de
Dead.
Toten.
Cinema of the Dead.
Oh, Kino de Toten. Okay.
Yeah. Kino de Toten. And then
I feel like the only reason why I really liked Black Ops 2
yeah.
was because when you bought I had the season pass for it
Mhm.
because I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got that's another game I was obsessed with, like the Black Ops. So I had every single season pass. So yeah.
And the one thing that I would definitely want to play, even if like I probably would do it when I go home and just like play this game.
Yeah.
I really liked playing Zombies Mob of the Dead.
Mob of the Dead was such a good
the
map.
best
That was
map.
the
I
best.
wasn't on that, no.
Basically,
It's
It's a
pretty
prison.
much
It's
it's a
Alcatraz.
prison.
Right.
it's Alcatraz.
Yeah.
So it's based on the real life thing, and it's like 4 prisoners who are like locked up in. It's a very complicated storyline if you follow it. It's
Yeah.
very complicated.
It's
But
such a good,
It's
but
just such
like
a good, like it gives you that scary feeling.
Yeah,
but also fun.
when I
it's real.
first played it, I was obviously a very good Call of Duty player.
Yeah.
I well, especially Zombies multiplayer. That's a different story. I wasn't very good at that, but Zombies, I had something in me that was just like, yeah, I can
was,
take
like,
them
so
all out.
good, exactly.
I was really good, and all my mates used to say, "But online, you're really bad. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening here?" And
the Call of Duty mechanics never worked for me, and for me, Halo, I always played SWAT. SWAT was my one on Halo. It's the one where you can headshot people one shot, and I got so good I could spin around and headshot someone in a second. I was that good.
And honestly, I remember playing Mob of the Dead for the first time.
Yes,
And I think I
You're
got
getting me all
really,
excited
really,
now.
I got really scared because I didn't know what to expect. I saw the trailers, I saw all of that stuff, and I was just like, this looks really good, but
Scary.
what's going on? I want to know
yeah,
more.
because it's like
it's so suspenseful.
because they're not alive, but they are alive, but they're
Yeah.
dead, and it's in a circle. It's
Yeah.
really
It's
weird.
really confusing, but we definitely recommend you
Yes,
figure out a way
because
of playing that.
I remember I used to be obsessed with Syndicate. Whatever your opinion is on him now, back then he was amazing.
I like him.
And so I remember seeing that like on this YouTube, like new map Call of Duty. I was like, oh no, and I got on it and I was so scary. I was
Yeah.
like, and then you have to use the shock things to turn perks on and stuff, and it was just amazing.
And
But a thing that got me disappointed, Black Ops 3.
oh,
The story
I
was
didn't
just
get it.
the
I didn't.
story for
didn't buy it.
zombies.
I think
no,
if we take the story out, zombies in general, it was cool. I mean,
the maps were
it-
like too extravagant. They
it
tried
was-
to bring
it
it
was-
too far.
it was really big.
But then the
and-
last map was basically, it was like, because I think they're wrapping up. I don't think they're doing any more zombies for that storyline. But so it's essentially all the favourite maps of the community mashed into one. So there's like certain bits that are Mob of the Dead, certain bits that are like Nakden Totens,
Yeah,
like
that's
things
what I
like
meant.
that.
If it's Nagder Toten, then it has to be Kino der Untoten. One of them
No,
was
it's
Untoten,
not.
the other one was Toten.
Yeah,
No, it's-
because there's like Night of the Undead or whatever it means.
Oh, Nagder Untoten. Okay.
Yeah,
You said
so-
Nagder Toten. I'm just saying.
Whoops. Oh wait, let's look it up right now. Right, you guys
Okay,
have a
go
talk.
well,
and
while you look that up, let's
While
move
you're
on to
doing
Black
that,
Ops 1.
I was going to say, or the only question I have about Black Ops 3 is, did they include Nuketown?
Yes,
Nah.
it did.
Because if they
Did
didn't,
they?
I wouldn't have bought
Yeah,
it.
it was a Nuketown, but it was like the updated version, obviously, because each game
They
they
updated
update
each
it.
time.
Yeah.
Did they add it in
Nuketown
zombies?
was legendary.
Not in zombies.
Oh,
no.
that's disappointing because after Black Ops 1, I wasn't expecting them to add Nuketown in zombies. And
Oh no, you were
once-
right. It is Nakdun Untoten.
Thank you.
But everyone says Nakdun Toten. No one says Nakdun Untoten.
I'm
Well,
guessing
listen,
they will say
honey.
it rapid. I'm guessing they will say it rapid. But Black Ops 1, guys, I'm sorry. What was your favourite map?
No, I'm
Nuketown.
also right. So Nakdun Toten, which was World at War,
Kino
is
der
Nak-
Toten.
it's Nakdun Toten, but then Kino der Toten is Black-
Kino der Toten, Nakt der Untoten.
Yeah,
Night
there
of the
you go.
Undead,
There you
Cinema
go.
of the Dead.
Yeah, there we go.
We got it.
We got it.
Okay.
So, what was your favourite Black Ops 1 map?
For zombies, Kino der
Ascension.
Toten.
Really? Mine was Ascension.
Ascension was my second.
No, guys, come on. How can you be serious? It was all about Call of the Dead.
Is that
Or-
that
is
was
the little arcade
the
one?
worst.
No,
No,
it was
that was
the-
the
it was
one
the
with George
ice one.
Romero.
It was the ice one.
The one with George Romero.
That
as
wasn't
the
the
I
master.
don't
worst.
think
That
I
one
don't
was
think
the
I had Call of the
greatest.
Dead.
But
I don't
no,
think I
the
got
one-
that expansion pack.
The worst one was what's
It
the
was
maps? It
either
was probably like
Call of the Dead was one of my favourites, or Shangri-La. Those
no,
were my
Shangri-La
two
was
favourites.
the worst because it was so long-winded to get the Pack-a-Punch, and like you could just never get. I could never get past like round 30. So
I
I just
really.
think the perfect map is Kino der Toten.
Kino de Toten is great. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get us wrong.
but I
mean,
played it too much because it's like the one that you get without like buying any DLCs.
I
or
mean,
anything.
I hit round, I think it was like 70 something back in the day. And after that, I was just like, I don't really want to play it anymore because I've hit it
I
so
hit
much.
round 82. That was my highest
I
thing
never
ever.
got bored of that map because I felt, I don't know, it felt like my zombie home.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can easily go back to it
Because
and play
like
it again.
there was like
I know
places
it like
where
the
you
back
could
of my hand.
train.
But yeah, I know.
Like the tactics were you'd like train a zombie,
Yeah.
so you'd go around in a certain circle,
On
and
the
then
stage.
you'd turn around and kill them all. So there was like places where you could do that. And
on
like,
the stage,
yeah.
that was the best spot.
To be fair, it was an amazing map because like
It was.
the way
Everything was perfect. The
the way-
escalation was amazing.
It
like,
was. It
oh,
was
Something
brilliant.
higher to
I
do.
know the worst map 5. Anyone who likes 5, you're not being my friend.
I
The
don't
one with the
remember 5.
presidents. This was
I
a
do
free one.
remember
This
5.
was where you have to
5
go
was
down in the
so-
elevators.
no,
I hated it.
I didn't mind it. The
I didn't
only
mind
reason why I didn't mind it was because it got you on the edge of your seat when the
To be fair,
scientist
yeah.
came out.
Oh my!
Because the
the
scientist,
Pentagon thief.
yeah,
Oh
the
my.
scientist, he just came out of nowhere and he'd take your gun, and you have to be on your
You
edge
have
of
to
your seat.
chase him
You
down
have
for
to,
it.
you have to look at every single corner to fight him and
He
get
was
your
so
gun back.
annoying.
And
And
it
if
was-
you do kill him, because most people don't kill him, but if you do kill him, you get like it makes pack a punch.
Yeah.
Like 2000 because there's like you get drops in it, and there's one called like fire sale, but then this one was called like ultra fire sale or something where it makes pack a punch like 1,000 when it's normally like 5,000 points.
Yeah,
Like it was like that's the good thing
the
about
only reason why I liked it, because of the scientist. I mean, he
Yeah.
was crazy and he was annoying, but the way that you have to like strategically get your way back into the game is by taking out that scientist, and that's what
because
I love.
the thing that I used to do all the time was I'd annoy my friends by going down in the elevator without them, and they'd start screaming like, "No, why'd you leave me?" And then they'd just like die from a bunch of zombies.
Yeah.
Am I imagining this, or in Ascension were the first few levels, or at least until you turn the power on or something? Was
Mhm.
it black and white?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
that was
That
so
one was
really
very
cool.
good.
Time.
That was
That
like
was a very
whoa.
cool match.
It's like because you get into it, you're like, "Whoa, is it just black and white?" And then you turn the power on, and all of a
You're
sudden
like,
it's
"What-
like color. Whoa! this
What
map was
really
so
annoyed
cool.
me was when I first played it. You know, in the middle it starts spinning.
Yeah,
that
and
thing.
it kills you.
I didn't know that happened because I was like, I'm not gonna watch any videos on it.
Yeah.
I want to just play it, see what my first initial thought was. And I got hit by it, and I was like, where did the zombie come from?
Yeah,
and I
where
saw
did
it
it come
spinning
from?
around me, and I was like, did that kill me then? And
thing is,
Imagine
though-
being the people who make these maps. What trolls like? Yeah, we're gonna put a spinning thing in it. It's gonna
Yeah.
kill so many players.
yeah,
Hilarious.
I mean, it's great what they do. They're so creative with what they do. I mean, it's amazing. But Call of Duty, obviously, you might be listening to this. Amazing if you are. Can you please do Nuketown in every single Zombies game?
Because the Zombies Nuketown map was actually quite good,
It
to be
was
honest.
very, very
like,
good.
I liked how you could open... The thing is, the biggest troll they did was the bunker. Do you remember that? So, I was, like, very keen on the storyline. So, there was a bunker in Nuketown where if you knocked on it, you'd hear this character called Marlton, and he was like, bro, is he in there? How do we get into the bunker? And that was the whole thing, like, how to get into the bunker, and it was, like, just a massive troll because he couldn't. But another troll on that map was basically the, like, there was this, like, massive van that cost, like, 5,000 to open. It was like, bro, when we get in there, there's going to be so much cool stuff, because you could see those things on the wall.
Yeah.
You opened it up, and it was the
There was
worst.
like
It was
Semtex,
like
AK-47U,
literally, it was like...
C4s, and
Some of the stuff in there was like,
Bowie knife.
why did I do over this? But
Yeah.
then some of the stuff in there, like Semtexes and the
Bowie knife.
AK-74U. Was
Bowie
like,
knife
yes.
was wicked as well.
Yes.
The only reason why I extremely had a passionate love for Nuketown was because of when the perks dropped.
Yeah, that was
That
such a cool
was one of the
feature.
coolest features.
So-
Did you play it, Isaac?
Well, on zombies,
Yeah.
I never played Nuketown Zombies.
Now,
So, let me
let's-
explain to you, right. Basically, you know the perks are normally in a specific area, they never move.
Yeah.
With Nuketown, I
Did
think
they
it's
airdrop
every
them?
5 minutes, every 5 rounds, sorry, a new perk would drop down in a random location.
Because in the sky there's a massive nuke going off,
Right.
hence the
And
name Nuketown.
And if you don't know, that's from the map Moon, where they dropped
Yeah.
a nuke on the Earth.
Yeah, and
It's complicated, just trust me, even if you don't like the
It's
game,
really
go look up on the story.
and pretty much that nuke sends out, it's like meteorites, which are the perks. Now it's in any random order. If you're playing solo, it's 100% that you'll get quick revive first. But then after that, you do not know what will come next. You could get pack-up punch, or you could get
I think
double
all the
tap,
perks
or
land
something like
by
that.
the round 25, sorry. So
Yeah,
Juggernaut, which is the one that you basically need to live the whole thing,
yeah,
that could basically not land until round 25.
and it could
was
literally
like,
screw
what?
you over.
Literally,
so
it's the
hard.
worst.
I
And if
mean,
it wasn't in the correct space, like if it was up in a building where it was really tight, you were basically dead.
if you guys, we're talking about Black Ops 2 at the moment,
Yeah.
obviously, and the favourite game, the favourite map where you didn't have to pay for DLCs was Town. Town was
No.
such an easy map.
It was so easy, but everyone loved. On Black Ops 2, there was this map called Transit, and it was
Oh
like,
yeah,
have you played Black Ops 2 Zombies?
Yeah.
So you know
I
Transit.
don't remember if I played Transit.
It was the one with the
Transit
bus.
was the
I
one
don't
where
think
you
I
go
tended
around.
to play. If I wanted to play zombies, I went straight to Black Ops 1 because I love Kino Der.
Yeah,
They're
because
so much.
Transit was the
Or
worst map
Ascension.
because there was a bus, and that was a cool idea where you get on the bus and it takes you to different locations. But why did they add the fog? Why?
Oh,
The
it
fog.
was one of the best
If
features
you-
that
no,
they added
it was the
because it
worst.
just makes it harder for you.
It's
but-
basically this little denizen, they call it. It jumps on your head and you have to like knife it off you. But it was so annoying.
But what I really liked was Town because when you like get all your stuff that you need,
Yeah.
you have a specific. There's this one area where everyone would want to train
Is it?
and-
Is it the one around the thing?
outside Jug.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's a really good area, and like it's so cool to like be at. So if you guys like understand what I mean, like it's just amazing.
I like Town, but like I feel like I don't know. It was just a bit slow, to be honest.
So yeah, guys, we've hit how long have we hit? We've hit 43, nearly 44 minutes on this podcast. Now that's amazing, guys.
I
You
say
guys,
we did pretty good.
yeah,
I think we
that's
did
that's
amazing.
pretty
That
good.
was a really good talk.
Yeah, that was awesome. High five, guys. So that was pretty much me, sinking.
Me, Isaac.
And me, Ethan.
And thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you found anything helpful, like maybe we helped you figure out a game that you want to play next, let me know down in the comment section below. And also be sure to like. Goodbye.